Hi, this is Jeffrey Sabel. I want to give you a quick warning about the video you're about to watch. So this is a recording of a presentation I just did for some local business owners here in Reno. And it was an hour-long presentation. I had to cut a bunch of stuff out of it because of time restraints. My slide deck was 297 slides. It's overflowing with value for your business. So it's a two-part presentation. The first part is Marketing Psychology 101, how to craft messages for your clients based on your products and services that talk directly to their self-interest, talk directly to their desires, directly to their fears, because that's the only way you can cut through all the noise and really take hold of their attention. The second part is how to take those messages and put them into email. Email, if done correctly, is the highest ROI marketing you can do in your business. I go through 24 strategies that allow you to craft excellent emails that get delivered, get read, and when done properly, are effectively money printers. You send out an email, it prints money on demand. So look forward to hearing your thoughts on this presentation. I wanted to put this warning though because I really recommend, and I cannot recommend it enough, to really sit and watch this video like you're paying money to go to an event. That's how I want you to experience it. I want you to have all your focus on it because there's so much information here. There's so much value. It's very, very intense. It's not for the faint of heart. I only made this presentation for business owners that are serious about crafting great marketing and are serious about exceptional customer service. And if you're watching this, I know that's you. The foundation of this presentation was a book, a manual that I put together that's over 17 pages long, over 6,500 words. And the only reason I bring that up is just to show you how much information and value there is in it. So look forward to hearing your thoughts on it, and let's get started. So this talk's gonna be two parts. It's gonna be the psychology of marketing, which is really the foundation of everything. That's the most important thing. And the second is going to be the technical aspects of email. So when you're writing an ad, the mistake that I made, and I think the mistake most business owners make, is they're going to focus on all the technicals, but they don't spend time looking on the psychology of it. What are your clients thinking? What are they going through? All that stuff. So that's why I really wanted to start with the psychology first, because I think that this is 90% of the work. And so many people overlook it, and that's why their ads they don't deliver, or their marketing inside their business doesn't deliver. So that's why I wanted to focus on psychology first. If you can nail this, you can bomb all of this. It doesn't even matter. It's all good. So let's get started. Part one, psychology. So what your business has to learn from divorce and love letters. And this is it's a funny example, but it's a very real example. And one of the things that I do with this headline, and even in this, there's a lot of marketing. The one thing that I do with this headline is I'm going to connect two abstract things to your business. And this is something that we're going to go through later that's going to show that's something that's very powerful that you can use in your business. So I bet you're like me. Again, a little Phil Jones wordplay here. I bet you're like me and look at business as a collection of relationships. So if you're in a relationship, doesn't that mean they can dump you? The thing that you have to look at, and the thing that I want to use as an example, is you have to look at your business, every single relationship you have with a client, as a one-on-one relationship. And that's why I use the analogy of marriage. So the first time you were dumped, this is like a pivotal moment in everyone's life. Their first breakup that they had, they still think about it. They'll think of a song or they'll think of a car or whatever when they were dumped. And the thing that I want to impression on everyone is you need to have that same feeling every time one of your clients dumps you. So why doesn't being dumped by your clients feel the same? What your business must learn from divorce. So there's parallels in human relationships that whether you're married, whether you're dating someone, whether you're in a business relationship with someone, it's all the same. So divorce happens for a couple reasons. It's failure to communicate. It's failure to show appreciation. It's failure to acknowledge how much someone cares about their partner. This is not a marriage thing. This is a human relationship thing. It could be a friend that doesn't communicate with you enough, and when they communicate, they only ask for something. That's not a very good friend. It's failure to show appreciation. It's failure to acknowledge how much someone cares about their partner. So this is basic human psychology, and it can happen with your clients too. The thing about this is no client of yours will come out and say, I'm not doing business with you because you never told me thank you of the 3 times that I came into your business. They're thinking it though. And they may not even be actively thinking it, but subconsciously they're thinking it. It's the rule of reciprocity. So Businesses don't get a lot of repeat and referral business because they don't communicate with their clients enough, just straight up. Like you'll go in there, you don't send them any emails, you don't send them text messages, you don't call them even to ask for business. The second one is it's failure to show appreciation. You come in, you give me business. Let's say you come into my med spa, $700, you buy a watch from me, $30,000 watch. The business doesn't say, you know what, I just wanted to take the time and let you know I really appreciate it. And I know you have a lot of options. I know you have a lot of different places you can go to. It really made my day that you came in and gave us business. You have to think, how many times have you even heard that from a business? And the third one is failure to acknowledge how much someone cares about their clients. It's just saying, listen, I'm in this business because I like helping people, and this business would not be possible without our clients. Even just one statement like that, you have to think, how many times have you heard that from a business? I can't think of the last time I heard of it from a business. So that's why that's so important. So all of those will cause your clients to slowly drift away. And I want you to look at it. This to me is probably, there's 2 or 3 points in this presentation that are the most important of all. This is, I would say, if you can nail just this one concept, you're going to make as much money as you want. The amount of repeat and referral business your clients give you is directly proportionate to the emotional distance between you both. And I'll just say it a couple more times for impact. The amount of repeat and referral business your clients give you is directly proportionate to the emotional distance between both of you. One more time. That's a good one to take the photo of. The amount of repeat and referral business your clients give you is directly proportionate to the emotional distance between both of you. So the example that I would use is, let's say we're talking and we do a lot of business and we're about this far. You want to get as close to them as emotionally as possible. When they think of whatever your product is, watches or acne treatment, whatever it is maybe, they need to think of you. If they think of you, that means that there's a very short emotional distance between both of you. Whereas there's businesses, you could just say, name one business that you went to in the last week, and I would probably really think about it, and I would struggle to think about it. So you have to get as close as possible. Every time a client shows up to never be seen from again, they have divorced you. That's kind of the analogy that we need to be looking at. We need to look at is if someone comes in and gives you business, and the crazy part is most businesses don't even remember all the people that didn't come in again. Most businesses just one and done. If they do not come back, you have to think of it with such a level of intensity that they divorced you. That's kind of like the way that I look at it. So never being divorced by a client needs to be your number one obsession in your business. So if you can just master this one thing, saying every single client that does business with me, they are never going to divorce me. And I know it's a funny way of looking at it, but if you have it with that level of intensity, you're never going to lose. You have to think of how many people give businesses business and are one and done. It's the majority. The majority of all businesses go out of business just because, it's not because they don't have customers, it's because the customers that come in, they never come back. You have to become obsessed with it. So I know that was a little bit of a downer opening to it. It was negative, but there is good news. And the good news is regular communication can close that distance and increase your odds of getting as much repeat and referral business as possible. So there's a couple ways that you can do this face-to-face. Obviously, this face-to-face form that we're in right now is very powerful. It's just not feasible. If you have 500 customers, you're not going to talk to them all face-to-face unless they're in person in your office. And they're only in person in your office if they're giving you business, which happens 1% of the time. So we'll rule that one out. The other one's phone calls. Again, phone calls is very low leverage. You can't make 500 phone calls. Even if you had a team of staff members, it's just not feasible. So we'll rule that one out. Text message is excellent. Text message has the best open rate, but the thing about text messages, again, is it's a short message. It's just not as personal. I think people are being programmed to, when you get text messages, there's always a little thing at the end, reply stop to opt out. I've written emails or I've written text messages before and it automatically put it in there and it just killed it. So it just is very difficult now to send large text messages at scale because there's that disclaimer. And again, if you're going to be sending text messages one-on-one, it's the same concept as this. It's a low leverage activity. So that leaves us with emails. And emails are really, in my opinion, the best of all because they're one-way, one-on-one conversations with your clients every time you hit send. So I want you to view emails, and tying it back to that headline, I want you to view your emails as love letters to your clients. I want you to really sit down, even if it's 5 or 6 sentences, How would you have to, the way that I look at these emails is, how do you text message your daughter, or how do you text message your wife? That type of tone is what you need to have off of it. So it's the difference between having passion and no passion. It's, hey, I was thinking about you. I saw this watch today and I remember when you started looking for it, and I just hope you're enjoying it. Versus, hey, if you have any friends thinking of buying a watch, or if the greatest compliment I can receive is the referral of your friends and family. No one asks for referrals, but everyone who does ask for referrals all says the same thing. So it's just, you know what? I saw this post online, I thought of you, I just wanted to share it. It's genuine. It's warm versus cold. A warm message that arrives with a high level intent versus a cold message. Dan Kennedy, who's considered one of the greatest marketers of all time, he says, how do you go from being an unwanted pest to a welcome guest? So you have to show up and people have to look forward to getting your messages. It's human versus corporation. I mean, there's a lot of talk and people are concerned about AI. We see content we know is written by AI, is not written by a human. It's human tone, like you would have a conversation with someone one-on-one, versus something that's very uptight and very corporate. It's caring versus selfish. I wanted to share this message with you because I think it'll make your day. Versus, hey, send me some referrals. I need money. I want to buy a new car. I need to increase my business. And this is really what it's still distilled down to. It's you versus me. It's the intent talking about you and how I can help you versus talking about myself. And most businesses don't do any marketing, and the businesses that do marketing, it's all about them. Look at how great I am. Look at all my awards. Look at my 5-star reviews. I'm just the greatest person that's ever walked on the planet. That's what most of the marketing is. So the businesses that struggle with email feel it's a dead and buried relic because they get no results from it. And they get no results from it for a very simple couple reasons. There's no passion in their writing. It's very uptight and stuffy. It's dull as ditch water. It's a dull as ditch water corporate newsletter full of offers and ads. And it's the equivalent of screaming, just please buy my stuff. It's desperate. Hey, I got this newsletter. Here's all our promotions. Me. That's what it's all about. Versus email love letters are full of energy and emotion. And it's funny because I tell people love letters, and obviously there's a certain amount of humor in that you're going to write your clients love letters, but you really have to think that the letters that you write them need to be overflowing with passion. They need to have energy. It needs to feel like it was written by a human being that cares about what they're doing and cares about sharing it with you. It gets the reader's brain fired up and elevates their heart rate. It gives them a physical reaction, and it talks about how the clients can be helped, not me, what I need in my business, how I can help you. And it's written like you talk. So it's written in a conversational tone. Again, it's like typing out a text message, but it's a text message on steroids. And all of these are important because they're a letter directly from you to your best friends. You have to think that every single email that you send out, it isn't, I'm going to talk to everyone. It's, I'm going to have a conversation with Justin, or I'm going to have a conversation with Fidel, or I'm going to have a conversation with this water bottle, one-on-one. I'm going to write like that. And then that appeals to everyone. You. I was thinking of you. I want to share this with you. Man, the craziest thing happened today. I have to share it with someone. I want to share it with you. Versus talking about myself. And that's when you think that, I would say probably one of the biggest hacks, and we'll go through this in the technical aspect of it, is writing everything one-on-one. And that's the exercise that I posted of printing out, a business or whatever, printing out a photo of someone and keeping it at your desk. Maybe it's even a photo of one of your clients. Maybe you take a selfie at an event with one of your clients, who's one of your clients that gives you a lot of business. Keep them up on your desk and think of them when you're writing, like you're writing them a letter one-on-one. That type of writing is going to resonate with everybody, and it's going to resonate with one person. That's the important thing. If you're trying to write to everybody, it's just not going to resonate with anyone. So you write like your friends have a problem, and no one on the planet cares more about helping them fix it than you. Because, and this is really important too, when you think about it, when you're a business owner, that's really just what business is. It's just helping people solve their problems, and helping them solve their problems and doing such an effective job that they're like, hey, you did such a good job, I'll give you money. I'm hungry. You go into a restaurant, they give you food, you pay them. You solve that problem. I got to buy a watch. I need to, my marketing's not very good. I need to make some more videos. I'm getting my ass kicked by all these people that I know are lousy business owners, but they're making content. You're helping them solve a problem. So every day You help your clients fix their problems and improve their lives. So again, some more humor. Your emails need to arrive like this. They need to be, when someone sees it's an email from you, they need to get excited. It needs to have that response to it. Most people get an email like delete, 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 delete. You need to have it where you look forward to it. It needs to arrive with passion. It instantly needs to become the most entertaining thing they've seen all day. That kind of needs to be the reference of when you're writing, I want to make someone's day. I want to make this the best part of their day. So in that mood, there's a couple pieces of framework that we should work off of. How would you talk to them? How excited would you be to share new information with them? How eager would you be to help? How supportive would you be? How appreciated would you make them feel? How grateful would you tell them you are to have them as a client? And how important would you make them feel to you and your staff? So I'm not going to jump into all these, but this is kind of like a framework of getting your mind in the right place of, for example, how grateful would you tell them you are as a client? Send them an email and say, listen, I don't have anything to sell you this week. I don't have any offers, any promotions. I just want to let you know that we were talking in the office and we're just so grateful that you trust us with all your stuff. I don't tell you enough that this entire operation is not possible without you. And we really appreciate you. And if there's ever anything you need, this is not a sales pitch. If there's anything ever you need, if you just need someone to talk to about a problem or something you have, we're always here for you. When was the last time you got a message like that? When was the last time you got a message like that from a friend of yours? I don't even get messages like that from a friend, let alone a business. If you're a business owner doing that, they're going to be like, shit, this guy's a taco stand and he treats me better than my girlfriend treats me, you know? So that's that type of thing. So with all that, you'd romance the hell out of them. You would really write something with passion. You tell them in detail how you can help them. You talk about all the people who are struggling with what they're struggling with, how you help them get closer to their dream life and how you'll do the same for them. You'd showcase all your current client success stories like a proud parent. This one's funny because we see people post reviews and they're like, another 5-star review, look how great I am. When it should be like, man, if you think you can't do this, let me tell you about this guy, because this guy was in the toughest situation of anyone that we worked with. We worked on this for 2 years and we made it happen. So if he can get it done, we're going to get it done for you. You would talk like a proud parent. You talk about why you started this business in the first place, the origin story, which is so important. You talk about how much you and your staff think about them. You tell them that seeing their faces is the best part of your day, kind of like the one I just talked about. And last but not least, you talk about how your entire world revolves around them because helping people gives your life purpose, and it's that very purpose that gets you out of bed in the morning. And this is so important because when you think of even Fidel, you think of all like the really successful business owners that make a lot of money. When they shut their business down, what's the thing that they tell you? I just lost passion. I just don't enjoy it anymore. That's the thing, the why. And that's the root problem. And there's so many business owners that don't even think about this, but they'll be like, for example, a dentist or an orthodontist. Like, man, I had terrible teeth. My parents couldn't afford to get me braces. I was bullied for it. And it really, every time I have a kid come through here, I just think, man, this is an investment in their self-confidence. That's it. Versus, hey, buy the top teeth, get the bottom teeth free, or whatever goofy promotion they do. That is the thing, is the purpose, the why of the business, translating that. Because all business owners have this, they just never talk about it. Or when they don't talk about it, they're like, no one's interested in that. They are interested in that because that creates in their mind, that's a human being. And people are only going to do business. I heard a great quote from Steve Wynn the other day. He said, 90% of why we're successful is, he says, only people can make people feel a certain way. So when you're dealing with a business owner, the human element of it, even the vulnerable element, failures, whatever it may be, it's someone that, whether your business is and I'm going to riff on this real quick, but whether your business is making money or not, you could be eyeballs deep in the red. People just see you as a business owner and they think, oh man, he's making a lot of money. If you talk about struggles, failures, whether it's your personal life, business life, you talk about why you started. Most people try to kind of shroud this in mystery. If you talk about this, it closes that emotional distance and it makes you more relatable as a human being. So that's obviously very important. So like I said, that's a business love letter. When you do all that, it's going to have energy, it's going to have passion. People are going to read it. They're going to say, man, this is someone that cares about what they do. This is someone that is genuine. This isn't someone that's trying to just get money out of my pocket. So that's the benefit to them, and I wanted to start with that. But again, going back to the selfish benefit, what's the benefit to you as a business owner? So that is making them feel good. How do we make you feel good? Because all this is great, but you're still in business to make money, and that's why we're here. The only way to get repeat and referral business is by retaining them as clients. And the only way you can retain them as clients is by regularly following up with them. This, I would say, more than anything, is probably the number one killer of all businesses, is that they're always in the cycle. I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but they're always in the cycle of chasing the next customer. They never love on the people. You know, what's that old expression, you know, dance with the one that brought you? People don't focus on the people that have done business with them before. Even if you send a message like, hey, I was just thinking about you today, or like a watch client said, hey, I was just thinking about you today. I saw this watch and thought of you. Hope you're enjoying it. I know how long you wanted to get that, and I hope it's even better than what you thought it would be. You're not asking for business, but you're following up with them. So email, in my opinion, and I watered it down a little bit, but I do believe it's the best. I believe it's the best marketing that you can do for your business. It's the highest ROI form of business marketing. And I'm not going to get too much into this, but the basic concept is the bulk cost of acquiring the client has already been paid for. So let's say you spend $1,000 on marketing, you get 10 paid customers from it. Your cost per customer was $100. Every further deal that you do from them, there's nominal cost to market, but it's essentially free. The thing that really puts businesses out of business is that they're always in the cycle of chasing the next customer. The most expensive cost is chasing that next customer. So if you look at, like, let's say, we'll use an extreme example, Tesla. Tesla is obviously, you know, an enormous company. I've never met someone that's owned a Tesla that hasn't told me about it, how they enjoy it, it was the best car, blah, blah, blah. When was the last time you saw Tesla run an advertisement? I've never seen a Tesla advertisement. So they're flipped it. Now, not all businesses can do that, but if 60% of your business is repeat and referral, which you're spending, let's say, $1 to $2 to get that customer back through email or whatever, because there's little cost, versus constantly chasing the next customer, that is obviously going to be a much more profitable business than if you're a business that's 90% of your marketing is spending that $100 per lead to get someone back in. So your selfish intention as a business owner is following up with your clients to stay top of mind so you can get repeat and referral business. That's your selfish intention. But all your clients see are memorable emails from a friend who is passionate about improving their life and cares deeply about them. They don't know it. Your true intention, which obviously we do care. There's customers that you deal with that you're like, I never want to see them again. 5% of all the people that you meet are going to be in that bucket, so you just don't follow up with them. But that's what they see. Next quick concept is best known beats best. The way you have to look at it is there's a lot of really great businesses that go out of business just because they don't have clients, because they don't follow up. Whereas there's a lot of oddballs that simply get the business. They're not the best, but they simply get business because they're the most known. Again, extreme example. Is McDonald's the best food? They're the best known. That's why they are the largest restaurant in the world. They're the largest toy manufacturer in the world because they're the best known. So there are really only two types of business owners. There are those that are always chasing the next client and always will. Their income is vulnerable to the ebbs and flows this chase creates. And they're always spending most of their marketing budget on the most expensive marketing of all, new client acquisition. I kind of jumped ahead, but this was what I was talking about. Or those that chase new clients and nurture their past clients. Their income is far less vulnerable to those ebbs and flows. And their strong past client follow-up is a form of business insurance that creates repeat and referral business while lowering their marketing budget. The business insurance concept is I heard someone years ago say this, and it just stuck with me. I don't even remember who said it, but they said, when you, like investing, you're going to diversify. You're not going to put all your eggs in one basket, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But if you have an investment into repeat and referral business, you've got this kind of pillar over here, and you've got the pillar of all your new clients. Let's say this is 60% of your business, and this is 40% of the business. If this absolutely shits, and TikTok goes away and all your ads are gone, you still got 60%. Whereas if you're the other business owner, and 90% of it is all these new customers, if that single thing goes away, you're done. You're killed. And most businesses are running on what, a 3 to 4% profit margin. They are really, honestly, one really bad month away from going out of business. They're barely keeping their nose above water. So that's why I like that concept of a business insurance policy. So which business has the higher likelihood of being stable, predictable, and profitable? It's obviously the second one. So every time you send an email, you are setting up residents in their mind. That's the way that you look at it. You send one email, you're building a little cardboard fort. You follow up with people enough, you're living full time in their head. Every time, like you, every time I think about a watch or something, I'll send you a photo of it. That's the concept of this, is it's becoming absolute top of mind with people all the time. Another kind of funny example here is a stable relationship versus speed dating. I've never heard anyone really use this analogy before, but I like this analogy. You have to look at if you're in a stable relationship versus your speed dating. Repeat and referral business is a stable relationship. These are people that, you know the expression, know, like, and trust you. You're going to get referrals. They're going to be like, oh, I spoke to such and such. They said, you're the best person to work with. This is going to be a very hot lead. And when I say hot, I don't mean hot in terms of they're going to be buying immediately. It's just going to take a lot less salesmanship. It's going to be a lot more enjoyable process. Versus speed dating is every time you're going to get a new client, you have to go through the presentation. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is the whole thing, like expensive clients versus cheap clients. Oh, the $50,000, like we were talking about yesterday, the $50,000 wire was just sent versus it's $500. Hermosi, I'm ripping him off directly. He'll be like, well, what do I get for $500? Does this come with a warranty? This comes with a guarantee. Let me think about it. A month later, I'm going to think about it. They're still thinking about it. Meanwhile, their business is imploded and they're out of business. So that's that type of analogy. So little more humor. I want to say something most business owners would never dare say out loud, but I will because I have no shame and I really don't care what people think. Your clients are very selfish and don't care about your business. Now, I see a lot of content and we hear a lot of things where my customers are amazing. I love my customers. Your customers don't care about your business. They just don't. They don't care about how hard you work. They don't even see the work. They don't care about how much stress you have. They don't care how many late nights you have at the office, how many fights you've had with your spouse, how many mispractices you have. They don't think about any of that. They don't care about how much your payroll is. Oh, I just had to stroke a $50,000 check for something. Who cares? They just think they think if they followed you around, money's falling out of your pockets and they'll just pick it up. That's what they assume a business owner is. They don't care how many daily fires you have to put out. Someone's watching a replay right now and probably has the phone ringing off the hook and they've got fires going. They don't care about any of it. They don't care about any of it because if it doesn't involve them, they just don't care. Everything has to be about them. And I know that sounds negative, but all humans are guilty of it. It's just normal human nature. If it isn't about us, we don't care. I'll be the first to admit it. You know, if something doesn't interest me, if I'm scrolling on social media and I see something that doesn't interest me, move on to the next one. It doesn't become any less true just because people are uncomfortable admitting it. So your clients only care about your business to the extent it can help them achieve their own selfish goals. I think this guy right here, Dale Carnegie, said it best. He said, a person's name to that person is the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Has to be about them. And the thing about it is, I know that sounds selfish. I know people will never admit it. But if you admit it and you confront it and you talk directly to your client's self-interest, that's the cheat code of human psychology. One little technique that we'll go through later is instead of saying my business, our practice, my team, it's you. Here's what you get when you come here. You know, just like we talked about last week. You. If you changed and I did it actually in the brochure, I had a bunch of I's and I changed it to you. I do this service. You get this benefit. If you just simply did that, if most businesses just took all their marketing and changed an I, me, we to you, your family, your, whatever, your smile, your back posture, whatever you're trying to sell, that is an easy win right there. So tell them in vivid detail how you can help them live the dream life they want every day by showing them a path out of the nightmare they're trapped in right now. Describe the pleasure they will experience on the other side of the pain they're suffering through right now. So it's a very straightforward 3-step process. This is kind of more the psychology of when you're writing copy or writing an ad. It's take every product and service you have and attach detailed emotional benefits to each one. And again, not to get too far in the weeds on this, I want to pace ourselves really good on this. But people are like, oh, I'm logical. People are not logical. They buy on emotion and they create some imagined scenario of logic. It's like, I bought this watch because, I really need to track time correctly. And no, you bought it because it made you feel good. You like the way it looks. You think it's cool. You know, you have an emotional, I saw a James Bond movie and I thought James Bond was cool and that's why I wanted to wear a watch and that's what I think of it. Attach an emotional benefit to it. When you do that and then you talk about the logical benefits to them too, that's really the powerful 1-2 combo. Put them into compelling written pieces and then use those pieces as the basis of the emails that you send out to each and every client. So emotional, very, very high emotional, intense, negatives and positives. Watches are kind of difficult, but if you're like a med spa or something, you want to agitate. You want to create, like, remind them that this is the hell that you're living in. This is your life. But here's how I can help you get out of it. And you show them the path out of it. Very high emotion, very high passion. Put them into compelling written pieces and use those pieces as the basis of the emails. This could be, this one right here, copywriting could be a whole, you could be an 8-hour course, which in due time I'll put together that. But that's the most important thing. So that was part one. That was the psychology of it. I'm just going to take a quick hit of water here. So that was part one. That's all the psychology. That's the foundation of it. If you're going to build a house, this would be the foundation of it. If you just master part one, all this other stuff, you could butcher all of it. You're still going to be in a good spot. So that's why knowing how to emotionally connect with people by talking directly to their self-interest is the hack to all of it. Part two. Now let's write some emails. So this is going to be the technical part of it. So your clients will read short and long emails. We get short emails that are boring, delete it. I've sent out emails. I mean, I have a 95% open rate on an email that I sent out that was font 12, no spacing, 7 pages typed out. So if it's compelling and it's to the right person, it's going to get read. So don't worry about whether it's long or short. Just if it's long and you have a lot to say and you're like, imagine you're hammering away at your typewriter at candlelight, I had to share this with you, it will get read. If it's short and boring, it's going to get passed over. So the quality of it's the most important thing. The other thing is you need to put your emails on shuffle to keep them guessing. You want to do a randomness. Short ones, long ones, medium ones, all different variety. Be very intentional about that. So short emails pack a ton of punch in a couple sentences and by having a very direct intent. Hey, this is very important. I wanted to share it with you. 3 sentences, call to action, done. This would be like a flash sale, that type of thing. The longer ones are short stories that emerge from every corner of your business, including why you got started, profiles about your staff, what products are selling best, what services you offer, patient success stories, and charities you care about. I'm going to get into more of this later. I'm going to show you an example of it. So, going back to love letters. When was the last time you wrote someone a love letter directly from the heart? And the thing about a love letter is, it's not a stuffy sales pitch. It's not, hey, I got this product, I had to me, I. It's a casual, one-on-one conversation with someone you care about and want to help. I have these thoughts I had to share with you. I wanted to get this off my chest. Put that in the email. Hey, I've been thinking about this. I just had to share it with you. I wanted you to see it. So it is a personal one-on-one letter. And now for some self-deprecating humor, it would be like, Dear Jennifer, this is Jeffrey Sabel. I think you should go to Cannes Movie Festival with me. That type of passion and intensity. A little bit of humor. Just making sure you're paying attention. So that's going to be rule 15. If it's not entertaining, don't even bother sending it. So that's a little side note. Obviously, this is a very intimate presentation here, but if you're doing a presentation for a large group of people, every 15 to 20%, throw in some goofy thing that'll get them reactivated. One of the best ways you can do that is just by asking a question. You'll see a lot of people that do that. So if you want to get engagement back, so like if you're doing a Zoom thing, you'll say, drop what you think in the chat or something. It gets people back in. So your number one job is to become a storyteller. Now storytelling is there's a couple different examples. It's a story about someone just like them. That's an emotional experience because they are vicariously living and learning through a person they can relate to. It's a story about why you started this business, or a story about why you started this business is powerful because you are no longer seen as an abstract business owner that wants their money, but instead a real human being that wants to help them. Again, like what we talked about, I'm not going to get too far on these because I talked about it earlier. And then the last example would be a story about your favorite product because it shows the true benefits of it and the tangible effects it has on the lives of people who use it. If you're like let's say, I like using the medical examples because there's a very, it's a very quick result from it. You could say, I've been using this for 3 months and it's really helped me out a lot and I want to share it with you. People aren't even going to know that's a sales pitch. They just think, oh, okay, here's someone that used it. That's why when you look at like the older like infomercials, they'll use that format. They'll say, oh, I've been using this for blah, blah, blah. It's an actual case study that shows that it's real. So businesses without stories are commodities. Commodities have no uniqueness. Things with no uniqueness are viewed as irrelevant. So if you're just in a hard pitch about a product, it'd be like, oh, here's a MacBook Pro. It's got X gigahertz processor, da, 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 versus this is a powerful computer because it allows you to create all these different things. The creation, the result, not what the features are. So that's, again, feature benefit, that type, which we're going to go through later. So this is an important concept that no one really talks about. Call out your client's enemy and fight it. Whatever they're struggling with, low self-confidence, back pain, foot pain, they're fighting with their spouse, whatever it may be, make that, personify that as an enemy and call it out. Say, listen, we're going to war against this thing. That's what it needs to be. It needs to have that level of urgency and that level of intensity. Your email arrives as an announcement that you are ready to go into battle with them to beat their enemy. I'm here. We're going to make it happen. Your products and services are the declaration of war against it, and they will beat it with you as their partner. Listen, I know you're going through something. We're going to kick this thing's ass. This is how we're going to do it. It needs to have that level of intensity and that level of punch to it. Next, make sure your clients know the real you. Tell your story, why you got started, what's your favorite part of helping them, what you've learned, what mistakes you've made. They want to hear all of it. Again, be a real human. Don't talk in all these abstract terms of this and that, this and that. This is why I got started. This is my favorite part of helping you. I'm selfish. I like to feel like I'm making an impact in the world. When I get to help you, it makes me feel good. Just say stuff like that. People are going to be like, yeah, I can get that. I can relate to that. That's why I donate $20 to the little guy who's collecting money during the holidays, because it makes me feel good. Again, my self-interest. What you've learned, what mistakes, they want to hear it all. So, again, a little bit more humor here. Every email needs to be an all-natural beauty with no makeup. The email has to be 100% text. Straight wall of text. That's it. No images, no graphics, no GIFs, no animations, no buzzers, none of that stupid stuff. It has to be straight. You can have all that other stuff, videos, demo the product, all that stuff on the back end, on a landing page. No problem. You can link to it in it, but it has to be all text. Gmail and all these email providers scan your emails. They're like the broker. They'll scan it and they'll say there's this amount of, let's say, 30 kilobytes of data inside this email, which is a lot for an email. We know with a very high likelihood this is going to be spam. We're going to put that in the spam folder. Versus, oh, here's a text-based email. We know based on our formula, algorithm, whatever it may be, there's a very high likelihood that someone wrote a message to someone. They all do this. And that's why it's so important. You're shooting yourself in the foot by having high media emails when you send them out, because this broker, Gmail, Yahoo, Apple Mail, whatever it may be, they're scanning it and they're like, we're going to put it. I got an email the other day from someone. It was an advertisement, but it showed up as the #1 email in my inbox because it was all text. Versus I've gotten emails from this person before that was all media that went into my junk folder. They're pre-sorting it for you. Just like the mail company. Oh, we've got a spam letter here. We're going to make that a lesser priority. Oh, but here's a handwritten envelope. We know it's higher priority. They're doing it for you. So again, here's the joke. This is what most emails look like. There's a lot going on here. This is what your emails need to look like. It needs to be no makeup, none of this crazy shit going on. You just have to have it very clean, very straightforward. Your emails are just a conversation starter. You don't have to put every video, every graphic, every promotion, every single thing. It'll be like, hey, I got this thing. First benefit, second benefit, third benefit. We think it'll help you because X, Y, Z. If you're interested, here's some more information. Hyperlink it in there. Click on it. That's the way that you would do it. Very straightforward. So the next thing is master the headline trinity to hypnotize them. So there's 3 headlines that you have, and the 3 headlines are important because in a traditional, like I don't have any of my ads that I wrote here, but I have some over there, you have 1 headline. If it interests someone, they're going to read it. Email's difficult because you've got 3 headlines. You've got who's it from, what the subject line, which is this kind of like the formal headline, the preview text of the email. That's 3 different opportunities for them to quit. That's why email's so hard. If you're going to read a specific thing like this, you'll read a headline, you'll be like, that sounds good, you'll start reading. Whereas here you'll be like, sender name, yeah, I like that. That sounds good. Subject line, the preview text, that doesn't sound like I'm gone. So it gives them 3 different opportunities to quit. So you have to nail all of these. So wait, did my Acme just send me an email? So if you're pitching an Acme product, you could say it from their Acme. If you're pitching a financial product, you could say from your bank account, from your wallet, a unique creative sender name. If you're pitching a new watch, say your lonely wrist. People are going to be like, what? What is this? It's going to be goofy. It could be funny. It could be whatever. The next thing is, we'll hate this email. That's the subject line. So it's a play on the sender name. Your Acme will hate this email. Your bank account will love this email. You can play around with that. And then the last one is, kick your Acme to the curb once and for all. So this is the preview text. It has to tie into your email. That would be the opening paragraph. So compare it to kind of the traditional one. Oh, this is from Sabel Med Spa, our March promos, dear value customer enclosed. Oh, they're going to yawn. No thanks. Versus your Acme will hate this email, kick your Acme to the curb, and you go into the product. Same thing, just one's entertaining, one's going to grab their attention, the other one isn't. Number one, I'm going to kind of rapid fire these ones just because they're more rules than actually techniques. So if you can obviously watch the replay, you're going to get a copy of the document. You can just use these as kind of like your pre-flight checklist whenever you're putting together your emails. So the next one is, step inside your client's mind to visualize their dream, pleasure, and pain. Again, this is one of like the number one things that you can nail. So the first one is, what do they dream about lying in bed at night while staring at the ceiling? Again, get very extreme, get very emotional. Most people are going to be like, oh, well, this is kind of important. You have to think like, this is DEFCON 1, the number one most important thing. I lie in bed at night thinking about it. Now, not everything like a watch is that extreme, but it'll be something that, this has lingered on my mind for 15 years and I want to do it. That's what you need to do. You need to show them the alternate to what nightmare is their reality right now. Really agitate it. Pour fuel on that fire. What daily pleasure will your business help them, will your business bring them? And then lastly, what pain do they go through on a daily basis? So polar opposites, the negatives to the positives. Sell them, tell them, confront it and say, this is what you're going through right now. How does it feel? How long have you been going through this? Da, 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 da. And they're going to be like, oh man, this is rough. And they'll be like, but, and normally you don't want to use but you can use that to cancel it all out. You say, but, here's how I can get you out of it. And then you get into it. I'm going to take another quick hit of water here. So the next one is, you're going to personalize your opening like an actual letter. So I said that these are one-on-one personal letters. You need to write them like a letter. Now, you might not always put the date or the time, but I would. You would be like, you're in your business and you're doing something and you're let's say you're on a photo shoot with someone and you're like, man, they made a good point about business that I haven't thought about. I'm going to write this down. And then you could say like, I just got this message from someone and I was just on a shoot and I heard this really cool business concept and I just wanted to share it with you. One-on-one letter. So again, goofy. Dear Jennifer, I've been thinking and was curious your thoughts on. If this sounds like some, and this is obviously there's a big middle section here that I left out, but then you close it out. If this is interested in, just respond to this email and I'll text you more info. Talk to you soon. Jeff. It's personal, it's one-on-one like you would write to someone. You wouldn't, if you're talking to your friend, hey, you want to go out to dinner tonight? You wouldn't say, I have a proposal for you, dear valued customer. Blah, 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 blah. Location, time, and it'd be like, hey, you want to go out to dinner this night? If it sounds good, just let me know. And be like, I can't make it there. Like, no problem. Well, we can be flexible on time. Talk to them like you're having a one-on-one conversation with someone. So if business, and this is the one that I referred to earlier, if business is a never-ending marathon, every paragraph in your email is a short sprint. So the long-form emails most people send out, they look like this. And when someone gets this, it doesn't look like this. It really looks like that. When they open an email, they just get stressed because there's so much text there. They get overwhelmed. This is the same thing how you'd break it down. So the longer emails need to have regular breaks in them. This is the break. This is a concept called eye relief, which does as it says. It keeps the reader's eyes relaxed so they can stay focused. Excuse me. Eye relief is, it's going to be something where if you're looking and reading, mentally, they're going to quit on it because they're like, I don't want to do this. It'd be like you pull up a video where it's like, it's an exhaust clip of a car. It's like, it's an 8-minute exhaust. I'm done. That's why shorts are so powerful because it gets directly to the point. This gives breaks. It allows their attention to kind of take a breath and reset. It needs to be visually encouraging to them. If it's one giant wall of text like this, they will get intimidated and leave, never to be seen from again. They're not going to see this thing and be like, man, I don't really want to read this. I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to come back and read it later. They're gone. They're never coming back. Break it down into simple, easily read blocks. Every sentence needs to be direct and every paragraph needs to be no more than 4 to 5 sentences. I said 4 to 5 sentences. You really want to do 3 sentences. It needs to be little sprints. So the easier it is to read, the easier it is to understand. The easier it is to understand, the easier it is for the patient to take action. Again, simplify things. Another rule of business. Side note, when you're putting a product or a service in an email, there's one product or service and there's one intent. I want them to do this. Like this presentation here, I had 2 parts to the presentation. First one is my intent was marketing psychology. The second one is a checklist of how to write better emails. So many people will say like, oh, we've got this product, we've got that product, we got that product. You're confusing people like, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what to do. It's the concept, the paradox of choice. Like you have 30 options, people are confused, versus you go to a buffet, people are like, I don't know what to eat. Whereas if you go to the most high-end restaurant, it's like, this is what we're going to give you to eat. One thing. So that's why make it easy for them to understand it. So again, if it's not entertaining, don't even bother hitting send. It has to be entertaining. So did you know when someone reads something and it is entertaining to them, this is a brain scan right here, it lights up their brain. Your email needs to have that impact on them. You need to leave a memorable impression on them for the rest of their day. Their opinion of you will be elevated because of that, and it sets the tone for the next email they get from you. So this is so important because if you leave a memorable impression on them, they'll remember how you made them feel. It'll slowly increase their opinion of you. So if you even walk up to a stranger, they have really no opinion of you. They may have a negative opinion and say, hey, I hope you have a great day. Just 1% higher opinion of you. And then it sets the tone for the next email because they're like, I remember how that email made me feel last time, and I'm going to open another one of those emails because I enjoyed it. So I want my emails, but you should want your emails to be the most memorable part of someone's day. That needs to be the standard. And I hope this presentation is the most memorable part of your day. So entertain. The mistake a lot of people make about entertain is they think it has to be funny. Entertaining, when you look up the actual definition of entertaining, it's not funny. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm not a funny person, or my sense of humor just won't translate. It doesn't have to be funny. It just needs to keep, hold, or maintain attention in their mind. So it needs to activate all senses in their body. It needs to have descriptive writing. It needs to have vivid, detailed benefits. And it needs to have powerful emotional stories. Those are some ways that you create entertaining content. Now you can do this through humor, sadness, triumph, thought-provoking questions, how-to guides. Those are some of the best things. Side note about how-to guides is you can really push a sales letter really hard. I mean, very on the nose, very direct if you're teaching someone how to do something. So you could say, I'm going to teach you how to do this. I'm going to give you 90% of the information and the final things out. Well, you got to have my software to do it. And they're going to be like, man, I learned all this stuff. I'm going to do it. So a how-to guide is something that's very, very powerful. Always think, if I want to sell someone on something, how can I teach them something? So you could do like 90% of teaching them something. At the end of it, you could do it. That's it. That's effectively all these infomercials. I'm going to teach you how to make, blah, blah, blah. And they go through the whole thing, and at the end of it, and, oh, you got to have this to do it. And they're like, oh, okay. So that's the most powerful thing. So if it's not entertaining, don't even bother hitting send. I posted this as a joke. I got tons of traffic on it. But again, the joke thing. If it's not entertaining, don't even bother hitting send. It needs to have that goofy angle to it. So buy my stuff. Every email is a sales pitch, but they can't see it behind your camouflage. Buy my stuff. So you can't really see it, but there it is. So this is the example that I'm gonna use. This is an email someone would send out. Got acne? Book your appointment for our new XYZ acne treatment. It's boring. Versus, let's look at this ad right here. This is an email that you would send to someone. Sarah, this experience just made my month and I have to share it with you. This is a story about a patient of ours named Jessica. She's 31 years old and has been struggling with acne since her sophomore year of high school. As an adult, this acne has been debilitating and has forced her into a life of constant low self-confidence. Her best friend saw her ad in a local newspaper or local magazine a couple months ago and told her she should stop by to learn more. We recommend our sales pitch, XYZ treatment for her stubborn acne. Through sales pitch, XYZ treatment, her acne is already 80% gone. She was brought to tears in our office when she realized it was actually finally cleaning up the acne that she has suffered through half her life. Think about that. For half her life, this acne has held her back from being the social, vibrant person she wants to be. Continue. Jessica's a beautiful soul, and I'm not going to read through it because we're kind of crunched on time, but then you close it out with, do you have the same stubborn acne Jessica had? How about one of your friends? If so, just respond to this email and we'll text you some more info on XYZ treatment. The whole thing's a sales pitch, but it's a story. And that's what I was talking about earlier. When you have these people that write client reviews, they never talk about the story of it. They just talk about, oh, look at this. If you can weave a story, the entire thing can be a sales pitch. I'm sure you see ads before where you read them and you're like, I know it's going to be a sales pitch, but this looks really good and I'm going to learn something from it. It's inspiring someone. So that's why you can push the limit a lot when you have a story. These are some more technical ones here. Scrub regularly to practice good hygiene. All these people that don't email, that you send emails to that don't respond, there's going to be probably 20% of your existing list right now that you're going to send emails to that they've never opened one email. I have best friends in real life that I talk to, they never open one of my emails. They don't get emails anymore. Because when you're sending emails to people and they're not opening it, they're dragging it down and they're hurting your performance. So you only need to be sending to your VIPs. And your VIPs, through the context of this, is anyone that opened an email within the last 30 days. So you can create, and we're not going to talk about this stuff, but we can talk about it off camera, of different email providers and stuff, especially for you, Justin, of how to segment different lists and do stuff like that. Most people think emails, you're typing it one-on-one, you're sending it to everyone, you're just going to segment it. So again, they don't open your emails because it's on them. It's not on you. Even if you do everything in here, a certain amount of people are going to open it just because they quit on their goals. Their lame family and friends ridicule them for trying to improve their life because it makes them feel worse about theirs. Deep down, they feel they aren't worthy of it. Whatever. They're not opening your emails just because something has nothing to do with you. So just move on from them. Quit pulling all your performance down by talking directly to them. So next one. This is a gimmick headline, but it's true. And again, entertaining. Can you actually score an all expenses paid week-long vacation to Hawaii by sending emails to non-openers 72 hours later? You can. Here it is. So if you send out an email and you get a 50% open rate, that's a really strong open rate. It's also just a really nice way of saying that half the people didn't open your email. So it sounds good, but it's also not good depending on how you look at it. So if you resend an email, let's say you send an email today on Friday, and Monday there's 50% of people that didn't open it, resend it to them. Now we're going to do some quick math on this. If you resend to the 50% that didn't open, let's say I segment that list and I'm going to resend it with a different subject line and a different opener. But it's the same message, but you've changed the first 5% of it. If just 25% of the second round of people open it, that's 12.5%. And that means that your open rate for that message will go from 50% up to 62.5%. You always need to get in the habit of resending emails to the people that didn't open. Now some more quick math. Let's say if, just for the pure example's sake, you have a average patient value of $300. That brings in an extra 2.5 extra patients per week. That's 300 times 2.5 is $700 of additional revenue per week. Over one full year, just doing that resend to the people that didn't open, which honestly will take you like 10 minutes a week, that's $39,000 worth of added revenue to your business. So just that one little technique, resending it to people that didn't open, can create a huge benefit for your business. One small correction. For some reason in the video I said $700. It's actually $750. So the final amount, the $39,000 over the year, is correct. I don't know why I had $700 in my slide deck. I looked at my notes and I did have $750. So maybe I'm going crazy. Let's get back to the video. And you have to think, this number, $39,000, most businesses are going to go out of business. That $39,000, regardless of whatever scale business is, for the average small business, if you could deliver $39,000 of added revenue to them in a year, that would be the difference between them going out of business or not. So it's very powerful. But could you handle 2 trips to Hawaii? So here's how you can get a second one. Every 6th email sent, so every 6 emails, send it to everyone to pull more in. Now I know this goes against what I said earlier, but what you're going to do, and I'm not going to get too far into this, but every like 1.5 months, send the email to everyone. And I know I told you not to do that, but you don't do it every time, you do it every 1.5 months. And the point being is, if you send it to everyone, every, let's say 6th email, you may pick up an additional 3% of people that open the email for the next one. So it's a net positive. That email is not going to perform that well. That's probably going to be your worst performing email of the year, those ones, but it's going to pull more people back into that 30-day open, which is going to help you on the next time. So you kind of the concept, take a step back to take 2 steps forward. Again, some more stupid humor to keep it entertaining. I know for most people, for most business owners, a second trip to Hawaii would be overwhelming. Do I have time for a second trip? What will I wear? Where will I stay? Who will run the business when I'm gone? So these are all valid questions, and I'm sure when you're going to talk to your businesses about this, they'll be like, I can't really do that. So you should volunteer to take the trip for you. Like, hey, if I make this business for you, can I have it? I know it's going to be a stressful thing, so hey, wish you were here on, wish you were here. Again, just making sure you're paying attention. We're in the final stretch right now of the presentation. And again, back to rule 15. If it's not entertaining, don't even bother hitting send. So just some final ones here. There's no gray area to get comfortable in. Now, you talk about, I'm building a brand, I'm doing all these things. Business owners love to do stuff that doesn't work and then validate it, be like, oh, it got our name out there. I blew $10,000 on a billboard, not one person called, but it got our name out there. There's no gray area when you're dealing with emails. You need to track all the performance. So, and I'm not going to get into all these, but we can discuss it off camera and later. But you need to track the delivery rate. You need to track the open rate. You need to track the click-through rate. You need to track who opened it, who didn't open it. That's the VIP, the last 30-day open, those types of things. All that data tells a story, and the success or failure of hundreds of thousands of emails. Let's say you send out 1 million emails in a year. At the end of the year, you could know on one little napkin whether they performed well or not, just based on this information. That's the cool thing about email too, is it's not like print advertising where it's very difficult to track. You can put numbers. You can say, hey, mention this coupon when you come in. People are going to forget. It's very difficult to track. This is 100% easily tracked. Now, you need to look at all this like it's a laboratory that you're A/B testing in. Now, for most business owners, they're going to be like, what's A/B testing? You don't even need to really do A/B testing. A/B testing just basically says you're going to run one thing and you're going to run another thing and you're going to see which one performs better and you're going to use this one. Now, a lot of times that's overwhelming for people. What you really need to do is you just need to experiment and record everything. After every email, go through all of these things and track it and see which ones worked good. Create your own research facility. Just say, even just print out an email that you wrote and say, this was the open rate for this one. At the end of the year, what you could say is, well, there's clearly 5 emails that were the best of all, and there was 20 emails that were dogs, so I'm just going to stop doing what I did in the 20, I'm going to do in the 5. Again, it's just reporting on it. And that's the cool thing about emails, you can track it also. That's the important thing. And that's the reason that I like email so much. That's a lot of reasons why I like a couple other types of marketing that we talked about, like the Facebook ads and stuff. It's 100% tangible data. And then PS, close out with a footer. The footer is basically the headline for the ending. Now, here's some general rule of writing that people kind of ignore, but it's been proven that this is the way people read. They scan people's eyes when they're reading articles, and this is what happens. The brutal truth is, even after all this work, we do all of this, we pour our heart and soul into it, we do all this stuff, even after all this work, most people won't read it. Even if you're sending something to the right audience, maybe 25% of them won't read it. They're going to scan through it. I know, it pisses me off too, all this work that we did, and we're still not getting their full attention. They're going to read the opening paragraph. They're going to skim through the body, again, looking for things that interest them. They're going to read the final paragraph. Then they're going to read the PS. And all of that, if that grabs their attention, especially the PS at the end, then it's going to tell them one of two things. This sounds like something I should read, or I should move on. The PS needs to validate this question. It needs to be like, man, that does sound like something I need to read. I need to invest the 5 minutes to go through it. So just look at the PS as the headline for the ending. Tip that I haven't heard anyone really talk about that I use a lot. If you're debating between 2 really good headlines and you're like, man, I don't know which one of these headlines is good, use one as the main headline, use one as the PS, and then send out another email and flip them. And that's how you can track and see it. So you're going to have 2 really good pieces. Just put the good one that you can't use, or the one that you think's the second of the 2, just put it at the end as the PS. So now we're going to wrap up the presentation. In conclusion, as I see it, you have 3 options. You can send out boring emails and get minimal results, which is what a lot of business owners do. You can never send out emails and roll the dice hoping your clients will come back and refer people. That's not communicating. Getting divorced from them. They usually don't. Even if you do all these things, it's still going to be very difficult to get repeat and referral business. You're looking at this as effectively gambling. You just want to increase your odds as much as possible. If I do all of these things, I know that I have a 60% chance. Whereas if I do this, I have like a 2% chance. You're just trying to stack the odds in your favor. Or the third one is send highly personal and entertaining one-on-one conversational emails using the process above. And the question is, which option would give you the best odds of creating repeat and referral business? And I know this is a loaded question, and I've loaded this throughout the entire presentation, but we know what it is. We know which one. It's number 3. So writing, just wrapping up with some final concepts, writing excellent emails is a collection, or writing excellent emails is a process with a collection of milestones. This is, again, I would say one of the top 5 most important things in the presentation is you're going to identify what product or service you want to share with your patients. You're going to vividly journal out the benefits it will give them, all benefits. Let's say this TV, I'm going to write 100 benefits that this TV gives someone. I did, just as a thinking exercise a while back, is I just took a random thing. I did a Phillips screwdriver, and I thought all the benefits that a Phillips screwdriver. Do that with all your products. The cool thing about this is this journal, it becomes your personal library that you can pull from at any time. So you really only have to do this once. It's not something you have to do every single time. It's just benefits that you have on the shelf, and you can pull them off and use them with and share them with your clients. Next, write a captivating letter about it and put it into an email. Then get the email delivered. Get the email open. Again, we're trying to stack the odds in our favor. Get the email read. Get the client to complete the intended action. Get the client to show up at your office so you can help them overcome their problems. Do such an effective job that they love it and they trade you money for the results. And then finally, you're going to go back to step 1 and you're going to start the whole process over again. That is, when we hear the word funnel, a client experience funnel, that's the whole funnel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, revert back. Every customer at some point is in that stage. Like a lot of businesses could be right here. They're just not getting their emails delivered. We got to get back to these things. A lot of people would say, man, we don't get clients to show up. Well, you need to get the clients to take intended action. You need to confirm the appointment. So all of this right here, this 10-step process is what, if you can nail this, you're going to nail everything in your business. So if you send out weekly love letters to your clients, then I guarantee you they'll appreciate you more. And if they start appreciating you more, then wouldn't you expect an increase of repeat and referral business over the next 6 to 12 to 18 months? I think that if we all do this and become absolute experts at this, like master this one concept, sending out letters, getting them to appreciate you more, if they start appreciating you more, I guarantee, and most businesses don't give out guarantees, I guarantee if you do this, you're going to get a wave of repeat and referral business in the next 6, 12 to 18 months. So that was the presentation. The final point that I'll leave you with is, again, if it's not entertaining, don't even bother hitting send. So make it irreverent, make it funny, make it goofy, lean into whatever quirks you have and roll with it. And I wish you best of luck. I know if any, obviously us right here, but anyone who's watching this replay, if you study this and you master this, you're going to make more money than you even know what to do with. Your customers are going to be over the moon happy with you. And that's what we're doing here, is we're trying to improve the world. So wish you good luck. Always here for you with any questions you have. Obviously, like here, just as tied up, I am a freelance copywriter. We'll put something on the end of it that I can help you do this in your own business. But wish you the best and hope it was informative. That's all she wrote. I was chopping a lot of stuff out because I wanted to be right on the dot at noon. Oh, okay. So there, yeah. I hope you enjoyed watching that video as much as I enjoyed putting on that presentation. That was a lot of fun. The reason I feel so strongly about emails is because they're the lowest hanging fruit marketing in your business. It's something that is a message directly to people that know, like, and trust you and have already given you money. It's not like an ad in a magazine or a billboard where you really only know the results 6, 12, 18, 24 months down the road, and it costs you a lot of money up front. It's very straightforward, and that's why I call it money printing on demand. An effective email, when sent out, can create immediate interest. We're talking days, not weeks, and definitely not months. That's the power of it. Now, you may be like most business owners, including the ones that were at this event, and say, you know, Jeff, all this sounds great and I agree with it, but this is a lot of work and I just don't have time for it. Don't worry, I've got you covered. So I'm a freelance copywriter and I can write these emails for you. All I ask is that you be open-minded to me writing one email for you, for your business, for free, sending it out and seeing what results it generates. If it completely flops and doesn't get any results, no harm, no foul. It didn't cost you anything and you still have this information, which I know will make you a lot of money in your business over the next couple of years. If it succeeds and it gets great results, let's keep it rolling. You can hire me as your freelance copywriter for your emails. Now, I don't do just emails. I do all types of advertising. I do a lot of Facebook ads too, and I can help you with that. But just through the context of this, let's write one email and see what's going on. I guarantee you, if you write these types of emails and send these emails out, your customers will appreciate you more. And if your customers appreciate you more, wouldn't you expect there to be more repeat and referral business in the next 6, 12, 18 months? That's the power of these emails. Immediate business right now and deepening relationships you have with your clients over the next year to couple years. Look forward to hearing your thoughts on it. Call or text me directly at 702-305-7312. It's a little noisy here. Again, that's 702-305-7312. I want to talk to you one-on-one, learn more about your business, and get started on that email for you. Look forward to hearing from you and hope you got a ton of value from this and wish you best of luck in your business. Talk to you soon.